So we have the intro round. Please explain to me in 2 minutes' time why Tyrion Lannister is the master manipulator. Begin.
First, we have to put Tyrion in context. You have to remember that this guy is under 5 feet tall. He's under 4 feet tall. This guy is incredible. But to be a master manipulator, there are a couple of key things that you need. Devonna?
Well, first off, you've got to be clever. So some examples here is he deduced that Lancel Lannister was sleeping with Cersei simply from the time of day Lancel would show up with messages. So basically, uses that to his game. Managed to work his way out of a sky cell without jumping to his death. Gets an audience before Lady Eyrie, then gets off scot-free with an informed gamble on a helpful sellsword because he just talked a lot. Survives being put on battlefield by his father, as well as surviving multiple attempts by Joffrey because, well, it's Joffrey.
Boo, Joffrey.
Hey, that's my kid.
Managed to talk his way out of being killed or enslaved by the Hill tribesmen, managed to escape from imprisonment in the black cells beneath King's Landing, managed to talk his way out of slavery. Seriously. Oh, sorry.
Spoiler alert!
See, for me, I see everything in the future, so, you know.
Just hold it up.
Hold it up the whole time.
So you also have to be able to identify the weaknesses in others. He was able to discern that someone was giving away secrets to Cersei and figure out which one of the counselors it was. Recognized that Janos Slit was basically a worthless pile of dung and sent him off to the wall, where he'd already made allies by hanging out with the black people.
Come on! Go on, you have 30 seconds.
I'm gonna let Keegan finish.
Alright. Additionally, you have to be able to exploit other people's weaknesses. You can't just recognize them, you have to use them to your benefit. Tyrion does this all the time. He blackmails Lancel Lannister, he plays Cersei like a fool, he knows that Littlefinger, Varys, and Grand Maester Pycelle are super greedy, and to find out which one is a narc, he tells them all different stories, and when one of them goes to Cersei, he has him, he has his beard cut off, but he also has him thrown in a black cell. And finally, he is a master strategist. He knows that Stannis' navy is going to go sailing right into the Blackwater Bay, and he sets up a giant chain and destroys the entire fleet with wildfire. That's epic.
That's the intro, nerds. So we are going to the Geeks. Geeks, 2 minutes. Explain to me exactly why Loki is the master manipulator. Begin.
Why don't we start with a couple of introductions? On my right, we've got everybody's favorite pain in the ass. Now, he's a bit of a prima donna, so come on, everybody, let's hear his name. Come on! No, one more time. Yeah, come on. Okay, and to the right, we've got Gandalf. No, never mind, we'll sort that one out later. And, of course, myself, Lord Tony of House Stark. Now, the great thing... Cheers, thank you.
Booze servers.
Now, the great thing about Loki is really the Xanatos Gambit. Now, what that means is that any of his plans, doesn't matter what really happens, he's gonna win. You look at Avengers, he needed a taxi ride home. He wanted to come to Asgard, he started a goddamn intergalactic war. The other thing is, you know, Loki's a guy, or a girl, or, well, you know what, you're pretty cute, I'll do you. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Dinner the movie first.
All this interaction is going great for the podcast, by the way.
Oh yeah. The fact of the matter is, though, that regardless of what he does, Loki's gonna win. If you really want to, vote for Tyrion. Loki still wins. He's got a plan, we got it all covered, trust me. He is a pain in the ass, but just watch and wait.
All right.
Loki!
Let us hear it. And now we are at round 2, the attack round. But before we get there, it is time to hand out the rebuttal tokens, which can be handed back to me to instantly rebuttal any point the other team has made. So for Team Loki, we have
You know, that didn't actually
I
happen.
think you're giving the severed hand to the wrong person.
attack round. Nerds, explain to me in 2 minutes' time why Loki is not the master manipulator. Please begin.
Alright, so if you're one of the people out there who hasn't seen the Avengers, I've got another spoiler alert for you. Loki is being manipulated. That's right, he is not a puppet master, he's a puppet! You can watch him dance, just like he's gonna dance for Thanos. In case you guys don't know, Thanos is the mysterious figure who showed up in the post-credits. Yeah, you'd stick around, but he's there. And he's the one who's really pulling the strings. Loki might think that he's in charge, Loki might think that he's clever, but he's got something coming to him. And if you guys seriously believe that Loki's going to be standing over the corpses of the Avengers at the end of Avengers 2, you're sadly mistaken.
Because there will be an Avengers. Loki's got a weakness of comic book villains always lose. This is a big problem. If you want to compare Game of Thrones to Marvel, he's like the Joffrey of the Marvel universe. Giant fucking ego. He's a bizarre dresser, obviously.
Joffrey was king!
That's my
And we
kid.
all love it when he gets beaten up.
By a roided up doctor!
I would like to discuss some of Loki's failures.
Keep going.
I would like to discuss some of Loki's failures, like the Thor movie. Not only was it a bad plan from the start, he tries to over-manipulate everyone, and instead of ending up with a bunch of allies, or any leverage, or even a decent whore, he lets go of Thor and falls into a black abyss. The Avengers. What manipulation was there? Oh, I'm gonna make Bruce Banner angry? Like, what's the result of that? Oh, just a really epic fight sequence and some minor property damage. But the Avengers kept it under control. He goes to Germany and tries to convince them to worship him as a god. If there's anyone who's learned not to worship too short. He failed to maintain a monogamous relationship with a horse.
I'm gonna have to end on horse relationships. All right, let's hear it for the nerds. And by minor property damage, I think you mean in comparison to Superman. So. Oh, snizzle. Moving on the attack round for the Geeks. Geeks, you have 2 minutes. Explain to me why Tyrion Lannister is not the master manipulator. Please begin.
The imp is just a joke. He has a drink, he has a smoke, he gives a brothel girl a poke. Loki lives and breathes deception.
On the podcast, drinks are repeatedly being given to Tony Stark. It's not each demon in the bottle yet.
Share the wealth!
The imp is trapped, Mary.
You guys have a minute left.
He's married to a little girl scarred by his own soldier, scared of his own small world. Winter is coming, it's so cold. His hands and fingers so numb, fumbling, losing all of his pieces. Loki is always nice and warm. The imp knows not that we here exist. But Loki travels many worlds and knows we are here and knows how to defeat us. In the 90s, he put his power in a mask and gave it to Jim Carrey, and he made one of the best made a sequel that was so horrible just to piss us off!
We have tits on a wine bottle being...
Yeah, I'm sorry, if you're going to reference Son of the Mask as being something that it works in Loki's favor, it's like one of the worst movies
You did
ever.
what I
So
said!
if you think that the villain of Son of the Mask
That
is
wasn't
actually
the
smart
point.
enough to
That
be
isn't what he said.
You're wrong.
Listen.
Yeah, I missed it.
All right. That's kind of what he just said. Okay.
I would like to thank Loki for the inappropriate use of the other team's interrupt token. Thank you.
We got like 30 seconds left.
Loki is the art of war. He is the Lord of Lies. He is the sexy Tom Hiddleston. In the end, if the little imp loses, he dies. But if Loki ever loses, Loki wins.
All right. A little bit more Loki praise on the attack round, so we got your priorities really mixed up, but let's keep going.